Microsoft may have shot itself in the foot over and over again this year. Don't even get me started on this generation, but man, the Xbox Series X has games. Good games at that. Plenty of exclusives have come and gone, some making a deeper mark than others, and even if Game Pass remains the most compelling aspect, it's nice to have 30 different and good-looking games to fall back on. So without further ado, here are our picks for the top 30 best Xbox Series X games of all time as of 2025. Starting with number 30. Dynasty Warriors Origins. After the terrible open-world approach of Dynasty Warriors 8, it felt like curtains for the franchise. Fortunately, Dynasty Warriors Origins goes back to basics, focusing more on the large cinematic battles that have defined the franchise, while the ability to play as multiple iconic heroes, at least for a few minutes, is sorely missed. It nails the combat and the sheer wonder of systematically tearing through armies. Atomfall. As much as Fallout lays claim to the post-nuclear apocalyptic crown, Atomfall offered its own unique take on the formula. Set in the aftermath of the Windscale fire, it's full of mysteries to pursue, but you'll need to actually gather the clues. Combing the landscape, interacting with, and maybe trusting untoward characters, and ultimately escaping. Or, just kill everyone in your path. Either approach works. Mafia: The Old Country. Family matters, especially in the Mafia series, where it can both unite and destroy. Much like Dynasty Warriors, which isn't a comparison I would have made in this life, but here we are. The Old Country doesn't try for a massive open world, nor does it waste your time. It tells a gripping story about family, loyalty, and betrayal in the early 1900s Sicily, presenting complex characters with excellent performances and more than enough fun gameplay, especially the new knife fights. No more, and certainly no less. South of Midnight. Hazel's journey through the southern gothic world of South of Midnight may not be the most memorable among this year's stories, but it's certainly unique. Told through its stunning stop-motion visuals, its combination of exploration and combat feels solid, while keeping the focus squarely on the magical realism of its narrative and characters. Chang: Fallen Feathers. Leon Z's first action RPG is heavily inspired by the first Dark Souls with its world design, and it shows. But it's the customization, the combat, and mechanics, including madness, that sets it apart. Chang's late Ming Dynasty setting and lore also offers more than terrifying threats to combat, and more than enough options, both in melee and magic, to fight back. PC performance remains a stickler, but it's surprisingly substantive for its price. Starfield. So Bethesda's latest doesn't offer the best story or the best use of procedural generation, or proper interplanetary or the most beloved companions. Alright, I'll stop. But the gunplay, especially with the addition of zero gravity, is solid, and that just one more feeling of discovering a new planet, laden with strange creatures and gorgeous vistas, is present. There's still room for improvement, but it's a solid base, if nothing else. Senua's Saga: Hellblade 2. Suffering, Build's character, is seemingly Senua's arc at this point. As she ventures to Iceland to save her people, the Furies return, and the Shadows remain as oppressive as ever. But it's all par for the course, especially when caught in desperate battles for survival. Hellblade 2 isn't a massive overhaul of everything its predecessor did, instead enhancing the cinematic presentation for an even bloodier narrative. And that's alright. Ninja Gaiden 4. Speaking of bloody, Ninja Gaiden 4, thank you for coming to my pseudo-review, but in all seriousness, for a series that ended as controversial as it did after the third game, it's just so good. The exploration, the movement, the combat, the new Bloodraven techniques, even controlling Ryu Hayabusa, limited as his weaponry was, turned out to be a lot of fun. There are plenty of nitpicks, but Ninja Gaiden is officially back, and I couldn't be happier. Citizen Sleeper 2: Starward Vector. Wake up, Sleeper. You'll hear when starting, a familiar phrase carrying far more weight this time as you traverse in the Helion system's asteroid belt. The clock is still ticking on your body, and it's all you can do to take on jobs, hire companions, roll the dice, and try to survive. Additional mechanics such as push and stress offer even more twists and turns, but the series' sharp writing and characterization remains as incredible as ever. Dying Light: The Beast. I've missed Kyle Crane and seeing him move past the righteous but naive courier of the first game into the my anger is healthy protagonist in The Beast. And it all feels right. Techland wisely offers much more though, from smarter enemies and a more perilous night with much more dangerous volatiles to silky smooth parkour and melee combat that could give Dead Island 2 a run for its money. All this combines for a fulfilling experience that doesn't overstay its welcome. Lies of P. NeoWiz took us by surprise when it revealed Lies of P, a Souls-like take on the classic tale. Perhaps even better is the fact that it went above and beyond expectations, offering incredible combat and parrying mechanics with fun weapon customization and challenging bosses. As dangerous and devious as Krot felt, it was also alive, capturing the ruined beauty that defines so many of From Software's greatest. Kronos: The New Dawn. A new Dead Space may never happen, yet Kronos: The New Dawn is surprisingly a solid substitute. The story of the Traveler, their eventual shift from rigid and robotic to actually feeling emotions in this post-apocalyptic landscape of Cronenbergian horrors, is a compelling one. Throw in some classic limb dismantling and time traveling, and you'll have one of the more underappreciated horror games of the year. Monster Hunter Wilds. The successor to Monster Hunter World, the mainline Monster Hunter for current-gen consoles that we've all waited for. Perhaps the best-selling Monster Hunter to date in terms of controls and actual combat, is also one that's been perpetually on fire this year when it comes to performance, endgame, lack of Monster Hunter-ness, take your pick. Nevertheless, it's only improved ever since, packing tons of worthwhile challenges and rewards with even more, like its first Elder Dragon, Dogmazios, on the way. The Outer Worlds 2. Taking everything it learned from the first game, The Outer Worlds 2 a sleeker, smarter, and arguably more entertaining role-playing game as a result. Factions and companions remain the centerpiece, whether you're deciding who to stab in the back and hear complaining about you on the radio, or who to give up. But between all of its branching decisions and multiple quest approaches, The Outer Worlds 2 is equally content to let you go on a killing spree. Halo Infinite. Halo Infinite is officially in maintenance mode. What's a fan to do without any campaign DLC? Well, quite a lot thankfully, thanks to Forge mode, new multiplayer maps, exchange updates, and much more. For all its faults, from the controversial reveal to launch, it still offers some of the best gameplay in the series. Best to appreciate it all now before the player counts plummet for good. Doom: The Dark Ages. Credit to id Software, even after finding a formula that inspires utter joy and mixed emotions alike, it's not afraid to create another that somehow, inexplicably, does the same. So, yes, The Dark Ages is much slower than Eternal, but the methodical gameplay punctuated by the incredible shield saw and more in-depth melee combat still feels so good. Assassin's Creed Shadows. It's kinda crazy that Shadows turned out to be one of 2025's most controversial releases. Once you get past all that, its depiction of Japan is actually quite beautiful, while Naoi's parkour and stealth remain some of the best in the franchise. Sure, there are qualms over the story, voice acting, and pacing, but infiltrating castles and assassinating your target, or breaking down the front door to challenge everyone to a fight, is fun, and backed by tons of other in-depth systems. The Elder Scrolls 4 Remastered. Call it nostalgia that harks back to the days when Bethesda could craft a compelling world, but Oblivion Remastered is just such a breath of fresh air in so many ways. Interesting side quests with multiple outcomes, an intriguing story where you're decidedly not the chosen one, numerous secrets. There's just so much to take in. Much of the quirkiness and bugs remain, with Virtuos sadly adding some new ones, yet it remains one of this year's better open-world RPGs. Stalker 2: Heart of Chernobyl. What is the Chernobyl exclusion zone if not a microcosm of humanity itself, boiled down to the most base instinct? Depending on who you are, it can be a place of wonder, of anomalies dancing about and causing havoc. It can be a place of community as various factions, friendly and hostile, go about their business without your input. Maybe it's all these things wrapped up in an unforgiving veneer, but at least there's plenty of guns to go around. Whatever your reason is for venturing into the zone, Stalker 2 promises an experience unlike anything else out there. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Despite all the contemporary movie flops, adventure really does have one name, and it's still Indiana Jones. The Great Circle is an original tale through Indy's eyes, and while the first-person perspective may seem like the antithesis to an Uncharted or Tomb Raider, Machine Games pushed stunning locales where observation is as important as platforming and reflexes, where stealth is optional and going in fist-swinging is as viable as whipping enemies unconscious. With a lengthy campaign, immersive environments, sharp writing, and phenomenal set pieces, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is a standout in gaming as a whole. Clair Obscur Expedition 33. From the very first hour, Clair Obscur pulls you into its bold, beautiful world and doesn't let go. It dazzles with its brutality, enveloping you in a combat system that's tactical yet active and oh so satisfying, especially when nailing every single parry and counterattacking as a squad. The constant push ahead accompanies phenomenal art direction, an unforgettable soundtrack, and, my favorite, 10 or so new mysteries to go with every answer. Sandfall Interactive has crafted more than an ode to the greatest turn-based RPGs of yore. It introduces us to a whole new world full of possibilities, even if all the roads lead to tragedy. Blue Prince. This year saw no shortage of excellent roguelike experiences, but from out of nowhere, Blue Prince emerged with a gameplay loop that had no business being as fun as it was. The premise is simple. As the heir to a massive estate, you must find the 46th room. Easy enough, right? Except you have to create the actual blueprint to reach it, pulling from a pool of rooms like architectural gotcha. Will you put down that observatory for the sake of something good? How about a code check to carry over a tool to the next run? With a limited number of steps and a clean slate daily, Blue Prince is wholly addictive, while challenging you to ponder every single possibility. Ark Raiders. We've said a lot about why Ark Raiders is so good, even if you're not an extraction shooter fan. But it's still fascinating. Even after so many runs topside, you never know what to expect. Whether it's a friendly raider who could end up stabbing you in the back or a desperate struggle for survival against a rocketeer. As varied as the experience can feel, the fact that it's backed by such great presentation and gunplay is just a cherry on top. Split Fiction. Like many games, Hazelight Studios' biggest, most expansive title to date was kind of buried beneath all the other great games this year. The curse of launching early, perhaps, but regardless, this is the co-op experience of the year. Between the simply awesome co-op set pieces spanning futuristic settings with mech suits and fantasy worlds with giants and dragons, it's simply bizarre and borderline concerning. And what more do you need? Hollow Knight Silksong. Even after all the other games that have been released this year, Silksong continues to call to me, its subtle tones belying the sheer humiliation that its toughest bosses wish to inflict. Despite the abundance of 2 mask damage sources, the punishing platforming, the surprisingly dangerous enemies, and the runbacks, I still want to keep exploring Farloom. I want to take in its sights, serenade the strangers and friends with the Neodolin, and find some solace in our shared struggle, and conquer the lands. It's an unhealthy obsession, sure, but such is the lore of Song and Silk. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Henry's latest visit was more than customary. It's also one of the freshest RPG experiences in ages. Everything in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 feels so organic and detailed, right down to identifying plants and cataloging them, or the entire blacksmithing process. There is plenty to be had in terms of questing and testing your metal or your sword against all kinds of opponents, but it's just so refreshing to see a game react so naturally to your choices. The way you dress, how you address people, even whether you're covered in blood or not. It all matters, and it's all amazing. Forza Horizon 5. Racing games come and go, but only a few truly stick around, much less cement their legacy among tens of millions of players. Forza Horizon 5 is one such title, and if you haven't journeyed to its version of Mexico, replete with stunning locales and heart-pounding races, you're missing out. Everything about Horizon's experience feels fresh thanks to the revamped progression and accolade system. Even if you aren't chasing the Hall of Fame, however, there are hundreds of cars to collect and customize to your heart's desire, while rocking out to some incredible tunes. Baldur's Gate 3. the game that introduced and reminded millions of the magic of Dungeons & Dragons. However, it's just so much more in every way, whether you're seeking a reactive role-playing game where almost every decision can lead down a path of possibilities, or an incredible cast of characters penned to perfection and voiced beyond. There's also the turn-based combat, which doesn't just reward build crafting but environmental awareness and an urge to experiment. From a paragon of virtue to the truly evil at heart, from blade-singing wizards to a magical archer and everything in between, this is a role-playing title that truly lets you live out your fantasies, and then lets you loose in an unforgettable world. Elden Ring. Almost 4 years and an expansion later, and we're still thinking about the lands between, the realm where mythical figures collapsed, or did they? An easier task than most, laying claim to the runes and ruins, but this is from Software's wheelhouse on a scale unlike anything ever seen before. It's a journey of strength and madness, of overwhelming bosses and buried secrets, where a simple jaunt down an elevator can lead to a vast underground city with a roof of stars and a palace devoted to blood. To say that Elden Ring is a Souls-like masterpiece would be selling it short. An experience that supplements the addictive challenge with a thirst for exploration and an unneeding burrow of secrets. It's simply essential for anyone and everyone. Cyberpunk 2077. Future conversations about consumerism and technology overriding humanity to the point of utter dystopia? A typical day in Night City, where gun vending machines lie just adjacent to the gangsters that are just across every corner. Arasaka owns the Uptown District, and a deranged rocker/revolutionary is running around in the player's head. Cyberpunk 2077 doesn't deviate too much from the action RPG immersive sim-like genre so much as drown you in Mike Pondsmith's version of a completely hopeless future. And it's an unbridled success. But even with that pedigree, the attention to detail and the oh-so-invasive advertising that's looking less like a parody every day, Cyberpunk 2077 is a phenomenal game in its own right, with excellent combat, incredible side quests, extensive build crafting, and a memorable story. Whether you become a legend or never fade away, the Night City Odyssey is a trip and a half. Hey, did you know that we at GamingBolt upload new videos every day? Stick around, drop a like, subscribe, and hit that bell. And let us know what kind of content you'd like to see in the future with a comment below.